Welcome in to another Humankind YouTube video. Today, I want to specifically address three things that I think impact the game to varying degrees, but have changed over the course of time. Those three things are the Neolithic Era, and again, that's changed over the course of things, so we'll talk about that. Resources, which resources I think are key, as well as why, when you find resources and where they are, impact the course of a game. And I want to talk about free peoples, specifically free peoples cities. So let's get into the game. I want to start by talking about the Neolithic Era. In the past, the Neolithic Era has specifically been something that could be exploited, kind of, by just staying in the Neolithic Era for a long period of time and not moving up in order to collect a ton of armies. I want to check in this game. I can't remember if I could see where I got. Yes, okay, so here we go. In this game, we actually called this whole save file Neolithic Forever because this was post-Fabius Maximus patch. So last year when the Fabius Maximus patch came out and they adjusted the Neolithic Era so that afterwards you get penalized much harsher for having a bunch of units when you move into the next era, I wanted to test how that worked. We, as you can see right here, got 30 population before we moved out of the Neolithic Era, okay? A couple other things that you can do, if you trigger the event where you can get +2 food on Outpost during the Neolithic, that can skyrocket your growth and encourage you to actually stay in the Neolithic even longer. Here are a couple reasons why we tested it in this particular game and why it actually still does work. Is it a little more difficult once you move up? Yes. Are there certain instances where you aren't going to probably do it? Absolutely. But in this game, what actually happened, and you can't see it at this point because we're a little farther into the game, but right down here where Knoxville is currently is where another player was, an AI player. That AI player had taken over essentially this area here, like 3 or 4 territories down in this area. When we met them, we forward settled as much as we could because that's typically what you want to do, right? And then we went ahead and stayed Neolithic. And when we did that, we accrued 30 population. We had 30 armies. Did we have the best armies? No, because we were still in the Neolithic. They had moved up a long time ago. They had better units than me, but we just overwhelmed them. We sieged their cities, and we took them out. So the Neolithic strategy still works from that perspective. Now, if you're alone on your continent, or if you don't have anyone to go to war with, it really doesn't make much sense. Because if you're focusing food hard enough in your cities, you're really not at that point in the game going to run into a scenario where you're going to take 30 people and disband them all back into your cities. It's just not going to work very well that way. So, I do think that it's still a viable strat. It's really viable if you can attack somebody right off the bat and kind of really push the borders hard. So you still can use it, but that gold penalty per unit when you move up definitely will hit you hard at the beginning, and you're going to have to try to recover from that as you move through. So, that's the first thing I want to talk about. Resources are the next thing I want to talk about. One of the reasons I want to talk about resources, because in this game specifically, if we zoom out so we just can see our resources, this is our capital. We started here. Excellent start location. We have horses. Horses, in my opinion, are the single most important resource, especially early game. So, we got to build this right at the beginning. Right on horses. The only thing that could have made this more perfect, if it would have also been on river, that would have been fantastic. A territory with river and horses, optimal start, in my opinion. We chose the Zhao, and we were able to put some sick Confucius schools in with this mountain range. It's one of the reasons we actually chose them for this, is because we saw just some really great spots to put those schools down. So, horses, very important. We, of course, we're moving through our territory, and we realized, wow, there are not a lot of resources. We found more horses down here. We went and claimed those. We went very quickly to try to get those. And then, as you zoom out, and you could see, we didn't have this early, we took over all of our continent almost. We have very few resources. Some of the resources that we needed access to were in the enemy's territory, so war was kind of our only option if we wanted to capture some luxuries. Luxuries, because they provide things like, for instance, +8 stability, +2 science, or in the case of something like Sage, +4 stability on all cities per Sage, +3 food on main plaza, +3 food on administrative center. Just huge gains, right? There are just massive things. Saffron is an amazing resource. +4 stability on all cities, +2 food per farmer's quarter. We don't even have very many resources here, but what you can quickly see is that if you have stability problems, one of the best and most important things to do is A, get resources in your own cities, B, trade for resources, because those luxury resources will save you. Horses and the copper as well are going to help you out, but luxuries are going to build your stability, and that's going to be incredibly important. I still think horses are the first thing I look for when I'm looking at a map. I want to know where those horses are. I'm going to settle them as quickly as possible, because that's going to get me the access to those animal barns and make those animal barns really potent. So, think about that. The last thing I want to address in this video is city-states. City-states have been, in my opinion, slightly broken. I feel like recently changes were made, and I can't confirm this because I couldn't actually find it anywhere in the patch notes, but I feel like they grow a little bit faster now, which is really important. So what happened in this game, so the city of Piaville, as well as the city of Cupton in this game, were both free peoples. Free peoples, sorry, not city-states. Free peoples. City-states isn't Sim. They were both free people's cities. So, this city, I think, was Sus or something like that, and this was another, Piaville was another one over here. There was another one that we burnt down, I believe. I think here's the ruins or something. There was ruins somewhere. We burnt down another one. There were so many free peoples. The thing where I think it can be taken advantage of, perhaps even exploited, is, well, and what we did, if they are at 0 population and the army that is with them is like outside of the borders of that city, you literally can just walk in with any unit, any scout, any unit you have, you could walk in and take a city for free. It is a monstrous advantage to get a free city from a free peoples. I can actually provide you with an example of how that would work. If you go over here, we have this city, 4 pop. You're going to have to fight a war, and they have reinforcements all over the place. This city, 3 pop. I can't really tell what's there because of the fog. 3 pop, though. You're going to have to fight a war with some units to get it. If you come up here to this kind of relatively new free peoples, Malacca, 0 population. And it's a peaceful, this is the key, it's a peaceful one. You can do this with the aggressive free peoples as well. But if it's a peaceful free peoples, especially, and they have 0 pop, you literally could just walk into the city, boom, instant city. You pay no influence. Now, late game, does that really matter so much? Probably not. Early game, when you can get your especially if it's your 3rd city or your 4th city right in there. So if you've expanded out to 1 city already using your own influence, and then you can snag your 3rd city as a free people city for free because there's no population in it, that is a monster advantage. So it's something that I'll do. I will follow, if you see free peoples in your land, follow the free peoples until they put their city down. Because if you follow them and you can carefully kind of pace yourself with them, as soon as they then move, you can sneak in and grab that city for absolutely nothing. You literally just walk in and it becomes yours. Now, I think, and again, I can't confirm, but I think that they've made it so that those cities grow faster when they get put down. Because I feel like the time between currently, as opposed to a couple months ago, the time between when the city has 0 to 1 population has definitely, I think, increased. My solution to the problem was you should just have them at 1 pop to start. Like when a free peoples puts down a city, just have it start at 1 pop, because then at least you have to fight to get it. You can't just walk in for free. It's not quite what seems to have happened, but there is still that slight window of opportunity where the city has 0 population, and if their army walks just far enough away, you can actually sneak right in, take the city right from under them. And if they're a peaceful free peoples, they actually just leave. Like, they don't even try to defend their city. And honestly, I haven't even had aggressive free peoples retaliate very much on me when I do this to them as well. So, free people's cities, hugely advantageous if you can sneak a free one. Again, we have a 28 pop city right here. This was a free city. We took it for absolutely nothing. Same thing here in Piaville. Absolutely free city. We took it for absolutely nothing. It just expands your empire so quickly when you can do that early game. So, hopefully that will helps you with a couple of the strategies and informs you as to some of the changes that have gone on across the game, but that some of those strategies are still viable. If you like the content, please feel free to hit the thumbs up button and be sure to subscribe to the channel so you see when my next video comes up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you for the next video.